Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ladder 3. And let me start by thanking the firefighters in Ladder 3 for letting us take over the firehouse for a few minutes. Great bunch of guys. Well, you know, firehouses, as they are known outside of New York City, they're called fire stations. They play an important role, of course, in communities across the country. And I think here in New York City, we call them houses. And I think there's some importance in that. They're not only a second home to the men and women who work in them, but they're also a great source of reassurance for every neighborhood's residents. Firehouses, of course, are a fixture in every neighborhood, from the most fashionable to every other corner of the city. And you're going to hear about this essay writing contest and all that's involved with it. I think there are enough material in any firehouse for a couple of essays and maybe a couple of novels as well. Anybody who's been close to the fire department, I think, could attest to that. Our chief of department is over there chuckling, hoping I don't write a book about the fire department. In any event, we commend Circuit City for this the contest that they are kicking off. It puts a spotlight on people's relationships with their firehouse. I think that's important, not just there, but it's going to be all over America. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot of wonderful, heartfelt entries. And I can't believe that somebody from New York City is not going to be a winner, right? Because we have a spectacular fire department, and we got a lot of creative people who live in New York City who can write about their relationship with the fire department. I know I'm a little bit biased there, but it's not biased at all to say that across this city, when somebody is in trouble and needs help, the fire department will be there for them. And so I'm going to turn this over now to the CEO of Circuit City, Phil Schoonover, who is going to tell you a little bit more about this program. And before I do that, though, let me just thank Circuit City for their enormous generosity. They are donating to the FDNY Foundation that does so much in the world of fire prevention and technology and helping the New York City Fire Department, and at the same time the National Law Enforcement and Firefighters Children's Foundation. They're giving $100,000 to each organization as a sign of their good faith and support, and I think that's just wonderful. Phil, you want to come up? Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. You know, I'm both honored and humbled by today's experience. This is the first time I've been in this firehouse. It has a lot of symbolism for New York, has a lot of symbolism for the great work that these firefighters do and firefighters across the country do. At Circuit City, part of our leadership mantra is to help the communities that we serve, and each one of us as managers and leaders in the company take time. Sometimes we write checks, other times we volunteer, and hopefully most of us do a little bit of each. I am very excited about this program for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, that we're able to give a little bit back to the community. And then second of all, we think that this partnership, our partnership with fire departments across the nation to help make this experience and the community's experience with them richer and deeper, it's very exciting for us. And as we launch FireDog, our in-home services brand, we think it's a natural place for these leaders and this team of Circuit City employees to give a little bit back to their communities. So with that said, I will turn this over to Peter Weedfald, our Chief Marketing Officer. Peter?
Well, it's obviously a great honor to be here in New York City for this very special opportunity for Circuit City and FireDog to start to give back to the communities right here in the heart of New York City. And I have to tell you that if you really start thinking about what firefighters do across America and why they're so important to all of us, I'm not sure if you're aware, but are you aware that a firefighter somewhere in America responds to an emergency literally every 20 seconds? 24 hours a day, every 20 seconds, an emergency is called upon by a firefighter. There are over 30,000 fire departments across America and 51,000 fire stations out there protecting and giving back to all of us every day. And the amazing part, which really was just mind-boggling, is that the spirit of generosity in the heart of firefighters is that across America, 75%, approximately 75% of our firefighters are volunteers. We don't pay them, they're volunteers. That is an amazing story. So in thinking of all that, and thinking of ways for Circuit City and FireDog, our services brand, to give back, we thought, what better way to give back to our firefighters across America than to take FireDog, as we call it now, across America, FireDog Across America. We've created a contest that we're launching here today, and that contest says that we're going to have consumers across America vote online and give us 50 some odd words to explain why their local community firefighter or firehouse or fire station deserves the right to receive additional funding so they can continue their good work to give back and help us in very generous ways. We're going to identify 10 firehouses or stations across America. Each one will instantly, at the time of winning, win $20,000. The consumer who enters them in the contest will win, each consumer, $10,000 in a home theater IT makeover for their homes, complete with FireDog services. Beyond that, it gets even better. We're going to have one $100,000 firehouse or fire station that will be anointed by putting up the 10 stories online and then having consumers all over America vote which one they think is the best, most important community give back. So that'll be an additional $100,000. And Phil Schoonover, our CEO, got so fired up and said, let's really give back. For every single American who enters the contest, Circuit City, up to 250,000 Americans entering the contest, we will match them with $1, up to $250,000, and give that back to the 10 fire stations. So we need everybody, please. And I expect, I'm sorry, am I in New York City? This is the city, right? This is the city of dreams and energy. I expect New York to really fire off all those different contest opportunities. And the way you do that is go to www.firedog.com. So we're really excited. We're honored to be doing this. We're honored to be up here with such great friends and in this room today. But I will tell you that it is my greatest honor to introduce a man who has been fighting for all of us for many, many years. In fact, he's been in law enforcement probably most of his adult life. He was, of course, U.S. Attorney. He was Associate U.S. Attorney General. He was the 107th mayor of the great city of New York City. I think we give him a round of applause on that one. And for those of you that have been here and know that he has reconstituted during his 2 terms as mayor, he reconstituted our safety, our security, brought back the sanity of the streets, and he is just a great man. And there's one other thing that's interesting about our great former Honorable Mayor Rudy Giuliani. During his 2 terms, I believe the Yankees won 4 World Series. Let's bring him on, Mr. Rudy Giuliani.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Peter, for noting my most famous achievement. The Yankees winning 4 World Championships. But thank you very much to Circuit City. This is a wonderful thing to do. Fire departments and fire services all throughout the country, all throughout the world are exceptional. I get an opportunity to visit many fire. I think I call them firehouses wherever I go, so I'm probably in trouble since they're called fire stations. But the thing that really impresses me is how similar they are. Whether they're in Europe or America or someplace else, the men and women who do this kind of work are all the same. I mean, they're doing basically the same thing. They're putting their lives at risk to save us. And I think they are admired as heroes all throughout the world, all throughout the United States. And, of course, the things that happened on September 11, 2001 really burned that into our souls very, very deeply because we saw it on a very dramatic way. But the point that Peter made is true. That was a very dramatic situation. Firefighters do this every day. I can't think of how often it was, Chief, that we would do ceremonies at firehouses when I was the mayor, and they'd get interrupted by a call, and in the middle of it, everybody would just rush out, and who knows where they were going, to a fire, to a heart attack, to whatever, but to save somebody. So the idea that Circuit City is recognizing this, giving young people a chance to write and other people a chance to write about this and understand it even better, to understand how central firehouses and fire stations are to their community is a really great thing, and it's a really very responsible thing to do and a terrific thing to do. And I endorse it and support it, and I think I'll maybe write an essay myself, but I won't. But I'm not qualified. I mean, you can't give me. I think if New York gets too many awards, they'll claim fix or something like that. But thank you to Circuit City for doing this. This is a really terrific public service. Thank you.
And now we'd like to do the check presentations. The first check we've made out from Circuit City and FireDog is a $100,000 check. Yes, to the National Enforcement and Firefighters Children's Foundation, and it's a great honor to be able to hand this to Rudy Giuliani.
Larry, where are you? I want to give you this over there.
Well, I'm going to give you the real one too,
I'm
Larry.
going to have him do this one.
Take that one.
I remember this from law school. You can negotiate these things. A piece of paper with a check on it. You can negotiate it.
Well, why don't you sign it for us too, and that way we'll really...
Let's take a picture with Larry in it. Hey, this is wonderful. This organization does terrific work for children and families of firefighters, law enforcement officers. They absolutely do terrific work.
Thank you. Thank you. And now I'd like to bring up Nick Scaputo and Andrew Garino and Chief to present the FDNY Foundation another check for $100,000. And now our parting words are to say this, that the way for all of us across America to give back and to really show proof that we care about our firefighters who work so hard for us is to really go to www.firedog.com. Please encourage your families, your friends, and your colleagues, because FireDog and Circuit City want to find more ways to give back. This is just the beginning of our journey. The contest runs through the end of March. And I got to tell you, we're really fired up about it, but we need all of America to support FireDog Across America. Please give everyone, including the Honorable Rudy Giuliani and everyone here, a round of applause, and thank you so much.